Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared204 here bringing you another Minecraft Cold War Bath to Build tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building Soviet destroyer Sderzhanny. Sderzhanny was a Kashin-Class destroyer of the Soviet Navy. She was laid down in March 10th, 1971 and launched on February 29th, 1972 by 61 Kimyard's shipyard in Nikolaev. She was commissioned on the 30th of December, 1973. On May 3rd, 2001, she was decommissioned and scrapped in 2002. She doesn't have any very notable roles in any kind of conflicts or anything from my understanding. It's just kind of more of a ship that just, did its time in the Navy and served its purpose as a kind of deterrence type of weapon. The Sderzhanny was basically designed in that time period in the early 1950s and 60s, and where they needed a capable destroyer of stopping and preventing submarines, which submarines became the biggest threat with the capability of launching nuclear warheads and whatnot from basically anywhere that there's water. So this kind of class of ships was one of those first response destroyers, and modernizing them with modern missile systems as well as anti-submarine warfare type of measures. So overall, pretty cool looking ship, and a really nice kind of early Cold War, kind of more mid-Cold War, I guess you can say, type of design. But really good if you're looking to, again, expand your Soviet Navy, which we've really kind of been really expanding. It's gotten pretty big lately, and there are quite a lot of ships to choose from. So if you're really looking for some cool Russian ships, definitely be sure to check out our Bath to Build playlist. Before we go and jump into taking a look at this kind of small destroyer here, I do want to go and give special thanks to Patreon support Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more, you already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is down in the video description, where you can go and put a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so, earn a view request you're choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. It's really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. And all that information, again, is down in the video description. With that, though, let's go ahead and dive in here to take a look at the ship. So going ahead and getting started with, we have basically two turrets on it. They're kind of dual turrets, so we have one on the back here and one on the forward section here of the ship. It does also have some missile launchers here. Again, those are probably most likely anti-ship missile systems, very similar, found on other Soviet-era ships. We, of course, have the orange deck, which is iconic with Soviet Navy ships. We have a lot of the range-finding equipment, detection equipment, radar systems, all that kind of stuff in here. We have the conning tower back. It's got a very unique design here for its funnels. They kind of come up and branch out. So they come up and then they branch out from the ship. It's kind of interesting. And those are located here. Those are our first set, like so. Then we have our kind of mid-deck section where we have a torpedo launcher. And then we again have our, different radars and equipment and stuff like that mounted here. Further back, we have our second set of smokestacks. So again, same kind of design. It pops up and goes out to the side. And then further back, we have our other set of basically anti-ship missile system, and also the turret on the back here. So again, just kind of going with the Soviet doctrine of putting as much weapons on a platform as possible. You compare this to American destroyers and American ships at the time, and they really do not compare in the amount of weaponry that the Soviets like to pack onto their ships. But overall, really cool design. It is kind of a smaller ship here, so you can kind of see here compared to our other Soviet destroyer we've done, which is a bit of a very early Cold War destroyer. So you can definitely see the size increase here as the kind of era progressed, but really nice looking ship. And we'll make an awesome addition if you're looking for a nice destroyer for any of your dioramas or anything like that. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer, layer number 1. Alright guys, moving into our first layer, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer 1. For layer 1, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a red concrete block like so, and a brick upside down stair coming off of it. One thing I do want to mention here is if you are building this in the water, which I imagine most of you guys are going to want to do, you're going to want to make sure that this row or this layer here is built basically at this level. You can see here the blue wool is representing our water level, and this right here is where you want this first layer to start. So very important, make sure that's good to go, and once you are sure it's good, then we can go and continue on. Now, going back from this red concrete block, we're going to go ahead and go back an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 and 21 red concrete blocks. I'm going to go and double check my count here to make sure that's good. And again, it's going to be 22 blocks in length. On the very end here, we're going to go ahead and then place down a brick upside down stair. And we're going to go and follow this up with a red stained glass pane and then a brick wall like so. We're also going to place down an acacia wood trapdoor going back from that wall like so. To both sides of this brick wall, we're going to go ahead and place down another acacia wood trapdoor at the sides. We're going to go and then skip forward here on the side here to the second to last red concrete block. We're going to place down a brick top slab, a second top slab forward, and then another brick upside down stair. We're going to do the same thing over here, 2 brick top slabs and a brick upside down stair like that. Now going back from this, we want to go ahead and grab ourselves end rods. We're going to place down 1 and 2 end rods and then a skeleton skull. Now if you're using this in the water and as a display model on land, just note that the end rods will not be able to be placed in the water. An alternative to this would be to use the lightning rods. Those work pretty good. I've seen those used and they work pretty good, or you can use chains as well. So just keep that in mind there for basically your building. So you can use that those 2 options there. Continuing on though, we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 red concrete blocks forward. And we then want to place down a row of 1, 2 brick walls, 1, 2 red stained glass panes. Over here, same thing. We're just going to go ahead and copy what we did over on the air side, just over here to this left side here. Now after that's done, we want to go ahead and then go to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and our 9th block from the front, and we're going to place down a acacia wood trapdoor come off the side there of that block to both sides for this little stabilizer that's located here on the side of the hull. So that'll be again on both sides there. After that's all complete, that is going to wrap up what we have there for layer number 1 of the build. I'll give you guys a top-down view of it. So again, this is what it should look like from the top-down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a stone block that's going to go on top of this brick upside down stair. And we're going to go ahead and place down a stone upside down stair coming off that full block like that going forward. We're going to go then go back from this full block of stone, 1, 2 blocks like that back, and then we're going to go and switch to our stripped acacia wood, and we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, and 22 acacia wood, or these stripped acacia wood blocks back. We're going to go then place down 1, 2 stone blocks back, and then a stone upside down stair on the very end here. After that, going to the sides here of the stone upside down stair, we're going to place down a stone upside down corner stair, and then we're going to place down 1 stair going forward from that corner stair. We're going to switch back to stone full blocks and go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 stone blocks forward. Same thing will be done over here on this side as well. So just like this, all the way along the side, and it'll connect up back there. Now with that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished diorite full block, and then a diorite wall, and then the same thing over here. Then going forward, we're just going to place down 2 light gray stained glass panes, going forward like that on both sides. And the last thing we have on the back here is going to be kind of more of a Java addition thing. And this is going to be the addition. We're going to skip a block from the middle stone upside down stair. We're going to place down a tripwire hook on the side of that block. We're going to then go into our command prompt. We're going to type in /give @p space Minecraft :debug. Make sure it is a colon. Debug _ stick right here. Pressing tab. This is right here is going to be your command. Press and enter. You'll get this debug stick, and we can go ahead and then go to this tripwire hook. We can left click it till we get selected facing, and then we can go and then right click it and rotate it around until it comes off the side of the stair here. And that right there will be used to basically put our little kind of rear mast there we have on the back of the ship. Alternative to this really there aren't too many viable options. You could use a fence gate maybe and open it up toward the stair, or you can place down a skeleton skull here, or you can just disregard it and just place down the end rods. Either one will work for an alternative if you do not have access to the debug stick. With that out of the way though, that is going to wrap up everything there is there for layer number 2, and with that let's move on to layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to start with, we're going to place down a piston here on top of this stone stair. An alternative to this piston would probably be like a stone full block instead, but the piston here is going to be kind of your best option to use. After that though, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone upside down stair coming off that block, and then we want to place down a skeleton skull on both sides of the piston or whatever block you chose to put here. We then want to place down a row of 2 of acacia wood slabs going back along the side here. a skeleton skull at a slight angle on those first two glass panes, and then a skeleton skull that's just kind of straight on your second set of glass panes there. Going back from those, we're going to go ahead and then take our daylight detectors. We're going to place down 2 more all on the sides here. And this middle stone block, we actually want to swap out for a acacia wood, or stripped acacia wood block. So just go ahead and make that quick change there and swap that out. We're going to go then place down a dispenser on top of this block, and we want to make sure we place it so that it's positioned like that going forward. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood fence gate coming off that daylight detector like so. We're going to go ahead and then also place down an end rod on the top here, on top of that stone block, just so we don't have to worry about that later. And if you are on Java and using the debug stick, we can also take our debug stick and we can right click that piston to get rid of that wood portion there for the front shaping. With that done, going back from this dispenser here, we're going to place down a stone block, followed by a second one. On the sides of these, we're going to place down 2 light gray stained glass panes. We're going to switch back to our stripped acacia wood blocks. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of these stripped blocks along the center here. To the sides, we're going to go ahead and place down a andesite wall to both sides of that first one, followed by 2 stone full blocks to both sides, and then we're going to place down 2 light gray stained glass panes going back further. We're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some item frames and some white beds. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 item frames along the side here, and then we're going to place down white beds, and those item frames rotate sideways for what would be lifeboats or little life rafts here on the side of the superstructure. And if you're on Java, we can also place down a birchwood sign on the side of these blocks as well. Just note that placing down the sign and item frame is only an option available for Java players. If you're not on Java, then you will not be able to place down the signs and item frames in the same block space, which basically just means that you'll just place down the item frames and you won't place down the signs. So not that big of a deal, just a simple little quality of life type thing, or a little bit of a detail thing that you're missing out on. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone blocks down the center here. We're going to go ahead and place down a white bed on these 2 sides here. After that, we want to go ahead and place down a light gray stained glass pane to both sides, followed by an andesite wall going back from those glass panes. We're going to switch back to our stripped acacia wood. We're going to place down 2 more blocks down the center, 2 andesite walls to both sides, then another stone block here in the center, followed by a light gray stained glass pane, again to both sides. We then want to place down 1 and 2 stone blocks down the center here again, followed by a white bed to both sides. Again, those white beds there representing some more actual prominent lifeboats. After that, we want to go and then place down another stone block in the center here, followed by an andesite wall to both sides. Then we're going to place down a stripped acacia wood block here, andesite wall again to both sides. Then a stone block in the center, light gray stained glass pane to both sides. And then coming off that stone block, we're going to place down a dispenser, like so. And then again, our dark oak wood fence gate, coming off the dispenser, opened up toward it. Now with that done, on the sides here of the dispenser and the fence gate, we're going to place down 2 acacia wood trapdoors. And for this back helo landing pad, very simply, we're just going to place down a row of 3 of gray carpet, white carpet in the center there for our next row, gray carpet on both sides of the white carpet, and then just another row of 3 of gray carpet across. For our rear little mast here, real simple, just an end rod on top of that tripwire hook or whatever block you use down there, and then an iron bar going up from it, like so. And after we have that all done right there, that is going to do it for layer number 3 for the build. Again, take a look at it from up above here. This is what it should look like from the top-down view. With that complete, we'll be going ahead and moving on up to our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to begin with, we're going to place down a stone brick wall on top of this stone block here in the front, followed by a birchwood fence gate to both sides of it like so for this missile launching system. We're going to go and then place down an acacia wood trapdoor behind it, then a andesite wall, and then a acacia wood pressure plate to both sides of this andesite wall. We're going to go then place down a skeleton skull on these 2 stone full blocks, and we then want to place down a stone block here in the center, going back from those skeleton skulls, and then a acacia wood pressure plate to both sides of that stone block. We're going to go and then place down a stone brick upside down stair, going back from that block right there, and then a stone top slab to both sides of that stone upside down stair. With that done, we're going to take our stone blocks. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 down the center. Coming off the sides here of our first block, we're going to place down a birchwood fence gate on both sides and open it up toward the stone block. We're going to go then take our stone stairs, and we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, and 1, 2 of stone upside down stairs to both sides, like so. We're going to go then place down 1, 2, 3 acacia wood pressure plates on top of these stone, or those andesite walls. We're going to follow this up with a light gray bed on top of those stripped acacia wood blocks like so for our torpedo launcher. We're going to go then place down a stone block here. And if you're on Java, we're going to go ahead and also place down a lever to both sides. If, again, you do not have access to the debug stick, you can leave your levers like so. For Java players, we're going to go ahead and left click the lever, and we're going to go and do it until we get selected face. It should say wall. We'll right click it until it goes to floor. We'll do that on both sides, and then we can left click it again until we get selected facing. And we can go and then rotate them so that they face outwards to the sides, like so for some smaller caliber guns on the side of the ship. We're going to go and then place down a anvil here in the center. We're going to go and then follow this up with a skeleton skull on top of these white beds to both sides. After that's done, we're going to then place down 2 pistons here in the center. Again, an alternative to these pistons would be stone slabs. And we can go ahead and then place down stone upside down stairs. Oops. They're going to be coming off the side here of these blocks. Just like so. And we can use our debug stick here. Actually, we won't use that. No, actually, we can use it. We're just going to place down, we're going to go ahead and right click those and get rid of that wood portion for those pistons. At this point, we're going to go then build a space out from these stairs here. We're going to go ahead and place down a tripwire hook on the side here. And we're going to go ahead and then use our debug stick here. Left click until we have selected facing. And we're just going to go ahead and rotate these around so they come off the stairs there. Again, you can use a birchwood fence gate as an alternative. So you can do something like that. You can even use a skeleton skull as well. So we have one right here. You can use that as well as an alternative. But again, the tripwire hook here is going to be your best design there. After that, we're going to go and then place down another stone brick wall right here. And then to the sides of the stone brick wall, we're going to go and place down a birchwood fence gate, just like that. And with that all out of the way, that is going to wrap up everything there is there for layer number 4 for the build. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on up to layer number 5. Moving up to our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick slab that is going to be on top of this wall here. And then a skeleton skull coming off of it. We're going to go ahead and build a block out to the side here from the stone brick slab. And a few options you have here. Again, for non-Java players, we can place down an end rod to both sides like so. That would work. But again, your best bet here for Java players would be to use a tripwire hook on both sides. And again, we're going to take our debug stick here and rotate these around until they connect to the sides there of that stone brick slab. So again, a couple options there for you. After that, we're going to go then build back from this with a smoker, like so. We're going to go and then place down a iron trapdoor coming off the smoker going forward. So like so. And then we're going to go and then place down a stone brick upside down stair going back from the smoker with a birchwood sign on the side of it. On the side of the smoker and the stairs, we're going to go ahead and place down skeleton skulls to both sides. We then want to go ahead and grab a cobweb. We're going to place it down here on top of this stone block. To the sides of that, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor. And we then want to place down an item frame. And in that item frame, we're going to place down a black bed, which is going to be rotated face downwards. So just like that to both sides. We then want to go ahead and take our polished blackstone slabs. We're going to place down 2 along the side there. And then another cobweb directly there in the center on that center stone block. We're going to do the same thing we did for our back funnels, and this is going to be adding these tripwire hooks coming off of it. So you can do the same technique that you used back here in this section here. So if you use tripwire hooks, use those. The fence gate or the skeleton skull, you'll use the same thing in this section here. So we're going to place down our 2 tripwire hooks, again for Java players, and we're just going to go and rotate these to come off of those stone blocks, or to come off those polished blackstone slabs. So it'll look like this here on the back. With that done, we're going to go then place down a andesite wall right here, followed by a polished blackstone slab on top of the anvil. And we then want to go ahead and grab an item frame, or a couple, and we're going to place down 2 item frames on top of those 2 stairs there to both sides, and then our iron bars in those item frames like that for our back funnel. With that done, we want to go ahead and then take our iron bars, and we're going to go ahead and go up from those tripwire hooks to iron bars on both sides. With that all done, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 5 for the build. Again, taking a look at it from above, this is what it should look like from the top-down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our final layers, basically putting all the top masts and radars and instruments and stuff like that on top of the ship. So with that, let's move on to our last final layers. Alright guys, moving into our last final layers here, we have layers 6, 7, 8, and 9. So to get started with here, we're going to place down a andesite wall that's going to go on top of this block right here, and we're going to go then place down an iron bar going forward from this. Now, a few tricks here you can use to kind of make this work is you can either use a glass pane to the side there to extend the iron bars out so it looks something like that, and the glass pane kind of hides it a little bit. Or you can, again, get rid of the glass panes, and you can actually use your debug stick here to actually extend it. And it's going to be by left clicking, and you'll have to kind of mess around with this a little bit, but you can extend it to the sides there to make that look a little bit nicer. And then a skeleton skull on top of that wall right there. So you'll just extend it to the sides so it looks like it fills up a full block space right there from the front view. We're going to go and then place down a birchwood fence gate on top of this, on top of the stonebrick stair there. And then to the sides on top of these skeleton skulls, we're going to place down 2 iron bars up. So same thing here on both sides. Once that's done on top of this space here, we do want to go ahead and place down a lever. Now to do this, very simply, we're just going to place down a block that's kind of to the side here, up from the fence gate. We're going to place down a lever like this. We're going to go and left click it until we get selected face wall. We'll right click it so it faces downwards, and it should sit like so. You may need to rotate it. If you need to rotate it, go ahead and do so. There really isn't a good alternative to this fence gate, or to this lever, so if you don't have access to it, then just disregard the lever and continue on with the build. We're going to go and then build up from this cobweb 1 and 2 more. We're going to take wither skeleton skulls and we're going to place it down on the front 2, or the top 2 front side there, cobwebs. We then want to take our end rods. We're going to place down an end rod here to both sides on top of this top one. We're also going to place down a dark oak fence gate going back from the top one, followed by a dark oak sign on the sides there of the fence gate. With that done, on top of the fence gate, we're going to place down an air brick fence post. So, like so. And then an iron bar on top of it. We then want to place down a polished blackstone wall. That's going to be on top of this cobweb. We're going to then grab iron bars, place down 1 going forward and 1 out to the sides there, like that. After that's done, we're going to then go up from this cobweb here, an air polished blackstone wall, and our iron bar going back, then 1 out to the sides there. Then we want to go and take our iron bars, and we're going to place down an iron bar on top of the fence gates here, or sorry, rather the trip bar hooks. And after that, we want to go and then place down a chain on top of those. So like this, again to both sides. Then going to the back here, we're going to place down an andesite wall that goes up from this one here. We're going to place down an iron bar that goes back from it. Again, you can use the glass panes to the side to extend the iron bar, or you can again use your debug stick here, again depending on what version you're on. Coming off the back of that wall, we're going to go ahead and place down a birchwood fence gate. And we're going to use the same technique here of placing down a lever on top of that fence gate. So that same thing that we did in the front. So like that. And again, you may need to rotate it depending on the orientation of your ship. But once you have that all done right there, that is going to wrap up layers 6 through 9. And with that, that's going to wrap up my tutorial here for the Soviet destroyer Sderzhanny, which is part of the Kashin-Class of destroyers. Anyways, hope you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put good use. If you do use this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a thing from the start of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does bring social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for your free for a project you guys are working on. Again, big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. And as always, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video description. And with that, that's going to do it for this tutorial. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. And with that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been here 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.